In November 1997, the PC version of Quake 2 made huge waves in the PC gaming world. It later went on to be the most played online game of 1998. It was the Call of Duty of its day, and console ports were seemingly inevitable. Almost 2 years after the PC version hit, the N64 finally got its chance to get in on the Quake 2 action. And that begs the question, how does Quake 2 on the Nintendo 64 stack up to the PC version? Well, it really doesn't, but not in the way you think. You see, the N64 version of Quake 2 is nothing like the PC version, weapons and enemies aside. It's actually sort of like its own Quake 2 mission pack, because the developers decided to go with 19 original levels over just a simple port. The game plays in the typical old-school shooter fashion. You'll get different objectives to complete in each of the game's levels, but it basically just comes down to the old throw the switch and get the key type. However, Quake 2 was never about puzzle solving, and this port is no different. It's all about the action in Quake, and this game delivers in droves. Throughout Quake 2 64, you'll be forced to deal with the hordes of enemies that come your way. This is no simple task, but thankfully this port has almost all of the meaty and heavy-hitting weapons of the PC original, which equip you to deal with all the baddies the strong throw your way. A lot of modern shooters don't retain that oomph in their weapons, but enemy reactions and damage dealt by the weapons in Quake 2 make most of the weapons incredibly satisfying to wield, a feeling you don't get in a lot of more modern shooters anymore. If you get tired of fragging the not-so-bright AI enemies, the game has a pretty fun deathmatch for up to 4 players. No bots though. Quake 2 steals its control scheme from Turok, where you move with the C buttons and aim with the analog stick, which works pretty well. There is a little bit lost in translation from PC to console, where it'll oftentimes take you a little extra time to line up your shots, just perfect on an enemy, which can cause you to take a few hits before you pull the trigger on them. Graphically, the game runs smooth and looks high-res, especially with an expansion pack, but the enemy animations are extremely choppy, even with the expansion pack. The music is also different from the originals. The music in the N64 version is now more ambient in nature, as opposed to the more adrenaline-pumping tracks of the PC original. The weapon sounds, though, are faithfully reproduced. The bottom line, though it's nothing like the PC original, Quake 2 on the N64 still manages to be a fun addition to any N64 gamer's first-person shooter collection, and is actually one of my favorites on the system overall. If you've still got a 64 and want a good single-player and multiplayer shooter game, then Quake 2 is worth a look. If you've never been a big fan of the Doom Quake style, then this game probably won't change your mind on the matter.